So, Terence Bud Crawford reveals his current weight. As you guys know, it is said that Crawford will be facing payday. You want the payday? I know that. Canelo Alvarez in September. And it looks like Terence Crawford is trying to bulk up for that fight. He just posted a recent picture, and I got a lot to say. A lot I want to say about it. So in this video, that is what I will discuss. So you don't want to miss this. Ego Weight Watchers, aka Ew, where I give you a look into the fighter lifestyle before, after, progress pics, especially when they have an upcoming fight. Now, Canelo Alvarez needs to win his next fight against William Skull. Not a big name, but he has a missing link to Canelo being 2x undisputed, that IBF belt. Canelo has that coming up in May, and we'll see how that fight plays out. If he gets past him, which he is the favorite to do, it is said that Canelo will then fight against Terence Bud Crawford. So we're going to take a look at that, if you will. Make sure you follow me at Boxing Ego 1. I am trying to get the page to 75,000 followers. We've been here before. This is not new to me. I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. So we're going to get there. So use the link below to get there. But I want to talk about this because Crawford just dropped this. Boom. We got action. You never know. Boom. You never know. This is the boy, that boy Bud, in his current shape. And what do you guys have to say about this? So I'm gonna just leave it on screen for a minute. Let it marinate a little bit. See what you guys got to say about it. Then I'll give my thoughts. So just look around, right? I'll show you another. Boom. Just take it in. Take it in real quick. Pause. And let me know what you guys think. Now, I'm going to read my quote because I worded it exactly how I wanted to. But this reminds me of a tweet that I put out where I expressed my thoughts. So let's get into that right about now. Ego Weight Watchers, aka Ill. I said, Terence Crawford reveals his current weight. In this slide, I've attached my previous thoughts about the matchup. After seeing this photo, it makes me believe even more what I have been saying, LOL. You guys can listen to Shakur Stevenson and his opinion. I've already made a video about that earlier today, an unpacked video. Shakur is saying that what is Canelo going to do when he feels Bud's power? He's picking Bud. That's his bestie. That's his bro, whatever. So he's all sold that Bud upsets Canelo, right? You guys can believe that. You can believe whoever you want in this matchup. For me, I'm old school. I believe moving up in weight class is a process, especially when you're moving up in more than one weight division in one fell swoop. Crawford is probably having to eat a lot more. So lots of protein, steaks, iron, lean meats, fish, whatever, etc., to add the weight, whereas Canelo has been in the 160s for nearly a decade, right? Canelo's been fighting for like 8 years higher than 160. Bud is having to do things differently in order to bulk up, while Canelo could do whatever he's been doing the same for the last 10 years because he's been basically fighting in the 160s at these weights. Canelo is in the gym now with a shirt on and he's dancing. And I'll show you guys that right about now. So this is Canelo right now. He got his shirt on. He just grooving, dancing. It's another day at the office, preparing for the, he having fun, preparing for the fight. So he don't have to do anything differently, right? He's just chilling. It's his gym. He's comfortable at this weight. He's been fighting at this weight, etc. Meanwhile, you got Bud, who is showing shirtless, like, look at me, weight, and look at my weight pictures, LOL. I said, while Bud is showing shirtless pictures, like, look at my weight. This picture, Bud looks bigger, but he doesn't necessarily look better. This ain't a movie, dog, where you're just gaining weight for the aesthetic look to look big on camera, like Conor McGregor did. I don't know what you're thinking. Who the for the Roadhouse movie, right? He gained Conor McGregor looked brolic in the Roadhouse movie. But can you imagine Conor McGregor with the extra weight fighting a top guy like Alex Pereira or Ankalaev just because he put on extra weight and now weighs what they weigh in? You need functional weight. Can you maintain your speed? How is your power? Will you get arm weary with the added mass? Will you fatigue faster? It is a process. I also don't like the 1 year with no tune-ups and no fights higher than 160 for Terence Crawford to acclimate. These are some of the reasons I don't fancy the fight, but good luck to Bud. Are you impressed with his current shape? Boom. Ego Weight Watchers. So I've been on record, from the beginning. I never liked this fight. I never thought this was like the fight to make or anything like that, because to me, it's just like some novelty video game type of fight. And I don't find myself preferring that. I'm a real boxing head. And what I'm seeing here is not giving me any more confidence in that. Now, I've already tweeted about this in the past. I said, unpopular opinion. The other issue I have with Canelo Crawford is that Crawford was his career highest fight weight ever in his whole career, and he looked absolutely stacked on the scales, weighing in at 153.4. Now he would need to add another 14 pounds of functional muscle in the next 7 months to challenge Canelo. Not just do it and be good for a few rounds unless he knocks out Canelo, but not fatigue mid to late with this added mass. Fight night is reported that Bud rehydrated to 169.8. I always show you receipts. So that's basically just getting to the weight that he would need to fight Canelo, right? And I'll explain this in a second. So what does Canelo rehydrate to these days? When Amir Khan fought Canelo, he said Canelo weighed over 180 pounds. That's when Canelo was at 154 on fight night. And they fought at 155, right? Canelo weight years ago, LOL. Y'all think this is a boxing video game and Mike Tyson can be 60 years old and fight someone bigger and 30 years younger and still look like 88 Tyson? We'll see. I cannot wait. So again, I'm giving you my real perspective. Now, this was Bud on the scale for the Madrimov fight. And as I stated in that tweet, he looked jacked. He looked dialed in, right? He looked, like brolic. Everything was clicking, right? Then on fight night, he had a tough fight with Madrimov. He came in at 169.8, career high. Now he has to weigh in at 168 or under. And then you have to, you low-key kind of struggle with Madrimov in the first half of the fight. Virgil Ortiz kind of bullied Madrimov and actually had more separation. Now, this is you at 54. This new picture is exactly what I fear for Bud. You're from lightweight, right? 140, 135, 140, 147. 54, you couldn't get to stoppage. You knocked out everybody at welterweight, but at 54, you couldn't get to stoppage. Now you're going to move up another 14 pounds. Where are you going to, you have a certain frame, you know what I mean? And again, this is not just like Michael B. Jordan getting buff for a movie, so it don't matter how big he gets, because he can always yell, cut. You know what I mean? Ryan Coogler can yell, cut, and it'd be the end of the scene. There are no cuts in the fight with Canelo. Look, Crawford's highest weight in the fight was 169.8, which he weighed for the super welterweight championship bout with Madrimov. He weighed in at 153. So that's Crawford with rehydration just got to the super middleweight category pretty much, right? Look, this is, like I said, Khan on Canelo. He weighed 187 with me, fight Golovkin. And this is what he did to Amir Khan, obviously. So if Canelo was weighing and rehydrating to 187 per Amir Khan, who got slept by him, what does he rehydrate to now, having moved up to 160s, 164.5 with Chavez, 2 fights with 175? And this is Bud's current shape. I'm not even being funny. Bud looks like one of those retired fighters who is coming back to the sport, but they've been out for like 2 or 3 years. Like, to me, he doesn't look as impressive because you're just gaining weight and just bulking up now at this point. You know what I mean? You have to have functional muscle. We just seen Jermell Charlo, who has a bigger frame and a chin and did more at 154, got in there with Canelo, and he really couldn't hurt Canelo or do nothing with him. I get that Bud is a different style fighter. You know, people keep bringing up the ambidextrous stuff. Bro, stop it. Because one, Bud, if you really study Bud like I do, you know, and study his fights, he don't really keep switching multiple times in fight. You know what I mean? It's usually like Errol Spence, he just came out of southpaw and stayed that, right? You know what I mean? And in the times where he has probably switched in the fight, he was getting tagged, like Gamboa fight. You know what I mean? So he doesn't really do that. He usually kind of picks a stance. He's not like, ha, 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 you know, doing this like trickery. You know what I mean? And then like against Canelo, I think you would just fight as a southpaw, because Canelo Alvarez, you don't have time. If you're giving up all this weight, you don't really have time to figure stuff out. You dig? You don't have time to figure this out. You can't make no mistakes against a bigger person. We all know that. We seen Amir Khan. As good as he was doing with Canelo, it all ended with one shot. You know what I mean? And we've seen Bud hurt in the lower weight categories. So for me, I don't think he'll be screwing around with switching stances and trying to get cute. Because if you do and you make a mistake with Canelo, then it could be lights out for the smaller person. So again, I never liked this fight, and me seeing this picture, this doesn't give me confidence for Crawford. Canelo is doing, it's a regular day. He looks big. You know, Canelo's not tall, but he's like thick. Pause. He got like a stocky, like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is like similar, where like you look at Canelo neck, his thighs, his calves. I'm not trying to like overanalyze. I'm just giving you guys whatever. He's just like a bigger, like more dense or whatever, massy. He just short, right? Crawford is doing all this extra to put weight on. Canelo don't have to worry. He could worry about strategy with Eddie Reynoso, things like that. Like, to me, this looks like, remember when Jose Cito Lopez fought Canelo? You just start packing on pounds. That's cool, but that's not going to make you better. You know what I mean? So this doesn't, to me, from what I'm seeing, I mean, I know this is months out, but this introductory to his weight, it looks like you're just bulking up and then bulking, and then you're going to like shave weight down and stuff like that. You got to play with your weight. You got to do more and play with your weight. But this initial picture is not doing it for me. Pause. It's not looking like this makes sense. You guys are saying, oh, this is a good fight. I just don't see it like that. Like I see a smaller guy who's packing on size and trying to bulk out, and then he's going to have to dial in, and you have to do all that just to get to the weight class. Canelo is comfortable. He could take hits he took hits from Kovalev and Bivol at 75. And then you guys are telling me that Crawford is going to knock out Canelo and all this stuff. Again, it reminds me, boxing fans don't really know boxing. That's for sure, because they treat it like a video game. This reminds me of like kind of like Martin Bacoli. Martin Bacoli, when it was said he was replacing Dubois, who was ill, and he was coming in to fight Joseph Parker, former champion, they're thinking of Bacoli that beat Jared Anderson. But that Jared Anderson, Bacoli, had a full camp to ready himself, get in the best shape, and prepare so he was ready for the moment. You guys thought Bacoli was a great save, and I told you it wasn't no great save to me because at the end of the day, he didn't even train. He got to the Riyadh very late, the day of the fight. These are not ideal circumstances. And again, you guys are basing it on the best version of Bacoli, but how can you be your best with no training camp, 315 pounds off the couch and out of shape, right? And same thing with Crawford. You're looking at Crawford's ability and skills and attributes, and I get it. You know, he's a respected fighter, so people want to believe that he's a unicorn no matter what you throw at him. But I do think when it comes to fight, like Floyd Mayweather is a G. I think he's a better fighter than Crawford. You know, he's done more. But you can't put him at heavyweight. You know what I mean? He wouldn't do good. And, you know, Shakur is saying stuff like, oh, I've seen Crawford hurt heavyweights. Name them. What heavyweight that is regarded, not just some big dude from off the street and then Crawford hurt him. And besides, it's sparring. Who cares what you did and how legendary you look in sparring? How you going to look when Canelo's punching at you? You know what I mean? And then another thing that makes no sense is the guy who's comfortable at the weight and, again, keeps fighting bigger people like Canelo, right? He's the guy taking the tune-up, getting sharp, and going through a fight camp and process. But then the guy who's never fought at 160 or higher is taking no tune-ups and he's just spending all his time on the sideline, bulking up with snack. Like, this whole thing is weird. And I feel like a lot of people don't know boxing and the low-hanging fruit. People are like, oh, Bud's so special. He is. But so is Canelo. Canelo has a better resume than Bud. You know, he's a Hall of Famer. Canelo has been fighting bigger people. You know what I mean? So I don't know. From the initial photo, Bud just looked, you know what I'm saying? He looked like just kind of a guy that goes to the gym right here. You know what I mean? He don't look like prime Greek god specimen to dethrone Canelo. I don't know. You guys let me know if I'm tripping in the comment section, because no matter what I say, y'all gonna say I'm hating on someone. If I say my true opinion, you'll say I'm hating on Bud. If I said, oh, Bud, and acted like Shakur, then y'all would say I'm hating on Canelo. So for me, I don't really care what y'all say. I'm just gonna keep saying what I truly believe, and y'all can say whatever y'all want about me.